Okay guys, this is Jacob with J-Rap Woodworking here. As many of you will know, this is what you're looking at here is an M1 Garand. And today we are going to be field stripping this rifle. I am going to be making other videos showing a full disassembly of the bolt, as well as the full disassembly of the trigger group and the gas system. Whoops. You really don't want to do that. You don't have to. For field strip, no soldier in the field will be doing that unless they have catastrophic malfunction, and then they probably wouldn't know how to fix it. But taking this rifle apart is quite simple. You just need to have the safety off. Of course, I've checked that this is unloaded. No magazine is in it. You just need to lay this upside down. Pull back on the trigger guard here in the rear. Back and up. Back and up. And the whole trigger group just lifts out. I'm just going to set that down over here. Then you can just lift up the stock. And I'm going to also set that down because we will not be needing that anymore. Now, taking this rifle apart from here is relatively simple, but you just need to be careful that you do in the right order, because if you don't, it can go pretty wrong. So this bar here connects to a spring that's inside of the operating rod. You just need to pull back on that bar and lift up and take that spring out of there. Just gonna lay that down. Next thing you want to do, all you really need to disassemble this firearm to this step is a roll pin, or as I'm doing here, a bullet. And you just need to push this roll pin out, and then it should get out far enough that you can just grab it with the rim of the case and pull it out. So I'm just going to set that aside there. That's all we're going to be needing the bullet for right now. So then you lift out this part here. I don't know the names of all of these specific small parts. There are a few of them. But when you see them, you'll know what they are. So you pull those three pieces here just out, and then you can pull out the follower from the magazine system. Now, to get the operating rod off is relatively simple. You just put this here. You can just align this piece of metal on the operating rod handle with the sight base, and then you push against the frame of the rifle and up, and that should just slide right off. Then the operating rod will come out. Now, to pull the bolt out, you just need to slide it forward to the right, and it should come right out. So there's the bolt. Now to clean this firearm, it's fully disassembled. Now to clean this firearm, all I use is Ballistol. I just wipe it on here, wipe it off, don't leave too much on. The only spots you really need to put oil, is in this track here. You put a little bit in this track here where the left lug of the bolt rides in, and then just a little bit on the underside here. You can see the wear. That's where the operating rod goes against the barrel. So now we are fully disassembled. We can reassemble this rifle. Just take the bolt, slide in. It is remarkably easier to disassemble this rifle than it is to reassemble it, even though it's still not that difficult. So you just need to slide it in. Let me just show you on the underside why it's sometimes difficult. Just to get this little nub there to align is more difficult, and to get the firing pin to go through that bar there. You can do it relatively easily by feel from the top, which is what I'm going to do because I usually don't do it from the bottom. So again, you just take it, wiggle it around until that firing pin gets into its track, which it is now. Just the back of the firing pin, which is there's a piece of metal, a cross bridge under here, and that firing pin just has to go through that, and then you can just drop it down, and you're good there. Now, take the operating rod. Let me just zoom out so you guys can see. Take the operating rod, slide it into the front of the handguard, and again, all you have to do is just align it like that and push down. Now you have the operating rod in. Now this is where it can get tricky, because there's some things that you have to do that if you don't do, you're going to be pulling your hair out, wondering why that roll pin's not going in properly. So now that you have the bolt forward, on the follower, you have these two little pieces. You need to make sure that these are facing forward, because this will go in like this, but that's not the right way. You need to drop it in to that track, like so, and there it is. Next, you take this metal piece here, and in between this, you just need to push this down, not too far down or it'll just pop out when you rotate it. Then you rotate it, make sure it's pushed back, down, fully. Then, take this little piece here, you put it in to here. This sometimes takes a little bit of, finicking around to get it properly. Now, I'm not sure, I'm not sure how I'm going to show you this. Let me see if I can flip this around and get you guys a better view. Put my tripod. Okay, there we go. Now, this little metal piece here, that little piece there that my finger's on, this arm on this piece has to get under that. If it's not under that, it can ride on top of it, like so, and the roll pin will not align properly, and you'll be pulling your hair out for a long time. You just need to make sure that gets under there. If for some reason you can't get under there easily, you can just push on the magazine, the clip ejector, and it should slide under there even easier. Like so. Okay, now take this piece here. On the follower of the magazine, there's a channel here. This goes through here and it has to get into that channel. Like so. Now, you can simply take the roll pin, and it should push through with relative ease. And if it doesn't for some reason, you can just take a little mallet and tap it. Like so. Okay, now the next part you do have to be careful with, because if you're not, you're going to have a large spring fly across the room. Now, you just need to get this spring into the channel. Notice this is very well oiled. I like to keep this oiled. That's just my preference. That there are few things that actually need oil. This one I like, and it rarely gets dirty. I fired 400 rounds through this rifle continuously, and this did not get dirty. Now, you need to make sure when you're reinstalling this that this little hump here, this bend in this rod, is facing down. This is also a part that rides a little bit. You need to make sure that's down, because if it's not, this isn't going to work properly, but it will connect, which is not good. So on that piece that connects to the follower, if I just lift up the follower a little bit, you'll see this piece here. You need to connect this piece to those two little metal rods. So you just pull back on this. As you can see, it is quite a pain in the ass to do, and I am attached. You just need to be careful with that. If you cannot do this readily with the follower down, you might just want to have a second person. If you have the follower lifted up, that piece that connects to the follower is slightly outwards to like about here, and that makes it much easier. But I'm one person, and it's really not that bad. Once you do it a few times, this gun, if I wasn't recording, would take me 5 minutes completely disassemble and reassemble. Now, all you have to do is take the stock, drop it forward first, then it should just connect right there in the back, which it has. Take the trigger group, which in my case rarely gets dirty. Sometimes it gets a little bit of brass shavings, like it has in there now, if you see the sparkle. This also, I don't put much oil on this. There is just a little bit on the contact surface right there. Of course, I just take my little share of Ballistol and I just spray in one little spray like that. That's all you need. That just keeps the hammer having a little bit of lubrication. So then you just drop in the trigger group. This also can be slightly finicky. Just drop in the front part first. And then it should just go in as such. Now, you just push down the trigger guard. Now let's check this rifle for functionality. Of course, it was unloaded through the whole time, and I did not stop the camera, so this never became loaded. Check there, unloaded, pull the trigger. It locks the bolt back. Bolt goes forward. There we go. So that is a full disassembly and reassembly of the U.S. Rifle Cal 30 M1. This specific one was made in Springfield Armory, and it's a 5.8 million serial number range. That puts it at about 1955 to 57. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's a very simple rifle to assemble, to reassemble, and disassemble. So be on the lookout for the other videos featuring the trigger group, disassembly, and the gas block as well as the bolt. Those are probably going to be in a month or two because I want to get out and shoot this rifle and I might not have time to make those. So anyway, this is Jacob with Girap Woodworking. If you like the video, please like, share, subscribe, comment. I'm pretty quick to reply to comments right now. I will reply to all of them. So anyway, Jacob, I'll be seeing you guys. Oh, and by the way, the only disassembly tool for this rifle is one 30-06 M2 ball round. That's all you need. Anyway, I'll be seeing you guys.